All right, my friends, an engineer I am not. Just got a gnat in my eye. I'm a curiosity type of guy. Curiosity killed the cat. Did you know that's only half the part of the saying? Chloe told me this. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought him back. I did not know that. My daughter told me that. Oh, Chloe. Kind of like money is the root of all evil? No, that's not it. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. It comes from the Bible. Oh my goodness. So I was watching this video the other day, coming back from a basketball game with Liam yesterday, from Real Engineering. Pretty lefty, a big green guy. I just chuckle. All these engineers who are knee deep in green, you know, they have to know this can't work, right? Oh, man. Anyway, so we had a video on how solar in Africa won't solve our problems. And a lot of virtue signaling about the evils of Europeans and stuff. You know, the Paleys are bad, the Africans are righteous, the whole thing, and whatever. That gets old, but whatever. But he has some good points. But he said basically Germany knows now that they're not going to be able to rely on Algeria, Morocco, and things of that nature. Man, and that is in my eye to solve our Europeans' energy needs. He said that's okay. I'm paraphrasing here. Because Germany, 10% of the German energy production, they produce themselves. All right. In terms of from solar. So 10% of Germany's energy production is produced from solar in the country of Germany. That's the better way to look at it. And so the intuition, of course, is, well, Germany then should be able to ramp up their production to be more than 10%, right? And then they'll be solving. Now, he said energy. I don't know if he's talking energy or electricity. I don't know. My inclination is he's mixing the two. So I think, well, I don't know. I haven't researched it. Probably should have before I'd done this video, but be it as it may. We'll go with energy for the time being. 10% of Germany's energy is produced in the country of Germany. So most people say, well, just ramp it up then. Energy or Germany, get more solar, get more wind. They don't consider biomass, I don't think, anymore as renewable. I mean, some do, some don't. Depends on who you're talking to. They certainly don't consider hydro as renewable anymore because, you know, it is, but hydro is evil. So it's just basically wind. We'll give them some biomass in that solar. So what does that mean exactly? 10% of their energy production is by renewables. Is that good? Is that bad? Does it mean anything? Well, if 10% of Germany's energy production comes internally to Germany, so they don't need to rely theoretically on exports or imports, I should say, of energy, what matters in this number? How much of Germany's internal energy production is produced in-house in the country of Germany? And for simplicity, let's just say 10% of Germany's entire energy consumption is produced in-house. It's kind of like the difference between log and was log and geometric, algebraic. I'll tell them how to keep it. It's kind of like the difference not using log. So if 10% of Germany's consumption is met by internal production, and of that 10%, and again, I'm giving them credit for energy, 10% is produced via renewables. That means 1% of Germany's energy consumption is produced by German renewables in country. Now, he said 10% of Germany's energy production, or generation, I guess you could say, either way, is done in-house in the country. So he did say that. I don't know if it's 10%, I don't know. Of the amount of their consumption is based inside Germany. Let's just say 50%. All right. So 50%, let's just use that for an example, of Germany's consumption is done in Germany, all right? 10% of Germany's production is renewable. That means only 20% of Germany's consumption is done by renewable energy generation in this own country. And I think that would be way high. Way high. But you see where I'm going here. How much you produce in-house is irrelevant until we know how much you consume. Consumption is the key thing here, my friends. So if you're producing 100 and you're consuming 1,000, you're only producing 10%. If 10% of that production is from renewables in-house, that means 10 units of 1,000 consumed is coming from renewables in-house. This is where these guys get you, man, these greenies. They get you by confusing a couple things. They get you by confusing energy and electricity. Obviously, production and consumption. The consumption is what matters. Then you got to figure out how do you produce it. It's kind of like your expenses in retirement are what matters. How do you produce the income to get those expenses? So having one without the other is just as silly. Why even bother? Part 2 of this, they talk about capacity versus generation. It's kind of like they're saying, look, we can nameplate capacity versus actual realistic numbers, how much you can produce. So, talking to a guy the other day, he's got a solar array, I think he said 9 kilowatts. He's not getting 9 kilowatts. That's the maximum capacity, nameplate, whatever. But he's not getting 9 kilowatts. Now, does it need 9? So basically, what's happening here is you take your 9 kilowatts, you times that by 24, whatever 9 times 24 is, I don't know. That's how many kilowatt hours you generate each day. Yeah, that's fine, but you're not getting 9 kilowatt every single second of the day for 24 hours. It's not. So 9 kilowatts in of itself is great. You know what I'm saying? Because you have 9 kilowatts and they're producing, we'll just say on average it's producing 2 kilowatts. That's still pretty good, man. 2 times 24, that's 48 kilowatt hours a day of electricity. My house only uses 55 kilowatt hours a day consumed. So we're almost there with electricity. That doesn't include everything else, by the way. But still, I'll take that. It's not bad. But you're not getting here. But notice, your 9 kilowatt capacity doesn't provide you 9 kilowatts 24 hours a day for whatever that is. I don't know what 9 times 24 is. It produces you a fraction of that because of efficiencies, the sun goes down and all this. And my man here, he doesn't have batteries. And I think he made a mistake. But he can still, that's why I asked him, I said, can you get batteries in the future? He said, yes. I said, man, you should get batteries. Because all the electricity in the world from solar, when it comes to your bill, is fine. But when it comes from grid down, if you're grid tied, it doesn't do anything. Because the grid goes down and you're grid tied, you get no battery backup. If you're going to get a solar array, I don't know why you wouldn't get battery backups, man. Crazy. I know it's expensive, but it seems to me the point of solar isn't for the electricity cost. It's more for the backup and for the electricity cost, mind you. I mean, 100%. I think it's a great expenditure. Locking in your electricity rates now to offset the inflationary costs. But again, the regulatory agencies, man, you think these utilities don't know how much this is hurting them? You think they're not going to go and ask for relief when more and more people go solar? You're crazy if you think they're not gonna. They're gonna do. And you're going to pay more. I mean, it's inevitable. So you better get some battery backups with a transfer switch so that when the grid goes down, you can use your batteries. When the grid's back up, you can go back to the grid. That's the only way to do it. Now, what's going to happen is utilities are going to beg for relief from the regulators. Regulators will provide, because if they don't, utility go out of business, and then you got no one providing you the electricity you need. It'll be riots in the street. All right, so we know that's going to happen. It's kind of like electric vehicles take over the world, and you're not paying tax on gas, no gasoline tax, because you're driving an EV. You think you're going to be exempt from that forever? Roads still got to be fixed. Actually, what is that? Asphalt? Huh. How do potholes get fixed? How do roads get created? Solar? Wind? Good old-fashioned oil, baby. Fossil fuels. So how do we have roads without fossil fuels? I don't get why people are so up in arms about fossil fuels. I don't get it. People say, well, you see what's going on in Beijing right now? Yeah, I do. That was happening here 50 years ago in America, the mass pollution. Is that based on fossil fuels, or is it based on cutting down every freaking tree that's out there? Gotta have trees, man. That's one thing I was agreeing with the libs. You can't just be cutting down trees and leaving up nothing. Trees are essential. And forget the stupid carbon sink that supposedly trees create, which they do. CO2 is a much needed fertilizer. So we need CO2. We need it for life. But trees are good in every which way. No such thing as a bad tree. So why China cut down all the trees? That's what commies do. That's what people do who have no concern for the future. They cut down trees. They put up horrible buildings. They freaking asphalt the whole damn place. So I'm green, man. In a way, I think you should treat animals right. You know what I'm saying? I think you need trees. Definitely want clean air and clean water. I'm not sure if fossil fuels and clean air and clean water are mutually exclusive. Whereas the greenies say that basically imply that is. I don't think that's the case at all. So is there a happy medium? I hope so, because we're going to need fossil fuels, but we're also going to need clean air and clean water. Or, what could we do instead? Crazy. Uranium? Huh?